down, kind of, as best you can?
I'm going to do the best I can while I'm eating, if that's okay. Or not, I'm not allowed to eat.
You could eat. We had, just for point of reference, we did have a half hour where you could have eaten. But you just made
I was eating during a half hour, but I like to pace myself while I have all this food.
Alright, well why don't we'll hold off on the eating if you don't mind, if that's
Okay, I'll hold off.
I'm going to eat, though.
Slave driver.
It's hard. Anyway, it's great to have you guys. A couple weeks ago, we spoke to some of your colleagues. Are you guys all? Are you all employed at Ellen's Diner still, or not anymore?
Not necessarily. Carly and myself are still employed.
I was first person terminated since we basically went public. I was also the head organizer of the campaign, so I'm proud of that.
Okay. Well, can you kind of sort of update us a little bit, and for people that haven't really been following or know what's going on, just sort of give us the recap.
Jenny, can you maybe move in a little bit closer?
Yeah, sure. Give us a sort of a little recap, whoever has the louder voice.
Well, Stardust Family United is basically an organization fighting for improved working conditions at Ellen's Stardust Diner. We started, working on this project back in January, probably the middle to the end of January. We started we had new management come in. They said lots of people were going to be fired, and they said some other things that were good, some things that were a little scary. And we've gone through this at Ellen's before, where basically they bring in a new team, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes people come in and they just want to make it their own. They try to fix something that's not broken. People get fired, and we wanted to basically do whatever we could to protect our family from being broken up by that again.
Yeah.
So my husband and I started doing research on different unions. We called everybody back in January, and then we ended up hooking up with the IWW probably in the beginning of February, because they called us back and they were really helpful. We literally sent them an email, and 5 minutes later we were on the phone with the rep, and 20 minutes after that we were on a phone call with legal counsel telling us what we could and could not do, and just kind of starting to give us an overview of what our rights are. We found out we have way more rights than they tell you do.
Always, probably.
Yeah, and so basically it was just the two of us. We started slowly talking to more people about it until we had enough to start having meetings. We did an organizer training in April, which was great, because if you are kind of trying to figure out how to do something like this, you definitely need to be trained, because it's unfortunately one of the harder things to accomplish is starting a union in your workplace. Why that is, I don't know. I don't think it should be that hard to stand up for your rights at your job, but for people that don't have unions in place, it can be. So in our situation, we started basically collecting grievances. We started trying to figure out what things were wrong, what things were fine, but could be improved, and we basically just started a laundry list of things that we wanted to fix at the restaurant, and also kind of brainstorming different kinds of direct actions that we could perform as a group in order to get those things. We are a solidarity union, so it's a solidarity model. It's a little bit different than the NLRB election route and or voluntary recognition. We're not asking to be recognized. We're not trying to have an election. We're just basically trying to be a group of people, and when we need something, we come forward and we ask for what we want, and we give them a time limit. And that's what we did back on August 24th. Owners and management, we had this singer's tip bucket. I don't know, have you been to Ellen's?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you were talking about the milkshakes.
Yeah.
So we had this singer's tip bucket that we would pass around, that all that money went to the singing.
Okay.
And on August 24th, I believe, or no, that was the day we marched on there about it. Earlier that week, we got an email from our boss that basically said, due to negative reviews and emails, we're going to be taking the bucket away and installing a lockbox by the front door with like a sign that says Singers Donations, Singers Scholarship Fund, or whatever. And until that happened, we were no longer allowed to pass the bucket. We had to keep it on the bar. And I know the first shift the first day that they took it away, I worked that night, and we made significantly less money than we were making before because we couldn't pass the bucket. And it was, that's garbage, because you can't just on a whim take money away from your employees because like you got a negative email. There are other solutions to that problem. So on August 24th, 4 of us marched on one of our managers and basically said, we want the bucket back. We want it back in 24 hours. She said, oh, what? I said, well, I'm not going to tell you that. But she was like, what are you going to do, walk out? I said, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Because, you know, especially at that time, we were like, no, we're not going to walk out because, you know, why should we have to do that? Why should we have to all, like, leave our jobs and get basically temporarily replaced just to have the things that we need, you know, moving forward. So within about 5 or 6 hours, we got the bucket back. It was a huge victory. We still have it today. Of course, with conditions, like, you know, they wouldn't let us use a tambourine or tell the audience what the money was going towards, which is singing lessons, dancing lessons, acting lessons, headshots. It's basically just to give us that extra boost to get what you need done as a performer in New York, whatever that is.
Well, let's just start and reset that Ellen Stardust Diner is this adorable little diner in Midtown Manhattan, and all the wait staff are, you know, Broadway singers, Broadway performers, up-and-coming singers, dancers, and they sing while they are waiting on you, and they perform while they are waiting and serving, and it's entertaining and it's fun, and it is a sort of very lighthearted and fun sort of tourist destination here in New York City.
Always a line around there.
Always a line to get in. They make the best black and white malts. Like, I don't even know what a malt is, and I've never even had one, and then I went there and had one, and it was like, I mean, it's the most amazing thing. But yeah, a couple weeks ago, we spoke to some of your colleagues, and I heard the story, and you guys are going through what you're going through, and some of you have left, and some of you haven't. So, how many of you guys are still there, and what's happened in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, I don't actually have a count of how many people are still involved on the inside, but I know that 15 people got fired within 16 people got fired within a 48-hour time frame, and they were all exclusively union members in one way or another, and they were all fired for the same reason. It was under the guise of misconduct, but we all knew it's because of union activity. The first 4 or 5 of you guys were the ones that were holding a banner outside. The very first day that we did anything to show that we were a union in solidarity, these 7 people held a banner outside of the diner, and those were the first 7 to go.
How come some people that are unionized didn't get fired? Like, well, how come you guys didn't get fired?
We were not there.
I also think that it would be really stupid of them to fire. I mean, I think that they maybe thought it was just a small group of people, so they may not have had any idea of how large it was. But basically, when those firings started happening, before they brought in newer members, we had, I will say, a majority, because I don't want to out people that are still there and put their jobs in danger if they're not willing to do that. But I'll say that we had a very, very, very serious majority, if not every single. So
they only fired people that were standing outside with signs?
They fired people who were outward, like speaking out against what was going on.
People that
were wearing pins. People that were wearing pins.
There's also people that have been there for anywhere between 3 and 11 years. Is that right?
Sunny, I think, is 15 years. Sinclair as well.
And Matt and I have only been there. He's been there 2 years, and I've been there 1. So we're relatively new compared to most of the people that worked at the diner at the beginning of this year.
So have you guys not? You two haven't spoken out. Have you not worn pins? Have you not been vocal?
We have.
Why have you guys not been terminated?
That's a great question. At this point, I don't think they can fire anybody else.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that as a union, we filed a complaint to the NLRB.
About 30 now.
30, yeah.
We tried to file more, but they're like, let's just wait until this is done.
But one of the specific one was about firing with no grounds, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, I think that finally went through, and they can't fire anybody else without a legitimate reason to fire them.
Right.
So.
Which they can make up, and they can do pretty much whatever we want. I mean, nobody has ever been fired for union activity, like on paper, because that's just very blatant, and no employer would do that. So they find a reason, or they make something up in order to do that.
So
one of the Twitter comments is actually pretty funny. I want to know if it was coffee grounds.
Those
Coffee
what?
grounds?
Coffee grounds.
Coffee grounds.
Oh, that must be a former Stardust reference.
Yeah.
We used to get in trouble for, yeah, that's really funny.
Coffee grounds.
Like one of the grounds.
It's very funny.
And Barb actually says that you have a great speaking voice.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Well, they're all performers.
Yeah.
They're all, you guys are all singers and performers. So what are you doing right now then?
Right now, because since I got fired from my job, I am a full-time union organizer, which I think is kind of funny. It just basically gave me more time to cause more of a stir. I do have a contract coming up, so I am going to be leaving the country for a little while to go write songs and sing in Berlin.
Nice.
And just basically await the moment that I am reinstated, and then I will come back to the diner and work.
Now, so I guess people could say, well, why would you want to go through all this? Like, there are, I'm sure, tons of restaurants and tons of other places in the city that you could work and make money and not have to fight the fight, which, as right as you all are, and it sounds like you're completely right on this, it's just an uphill battle, and it's time off of your life that you're putting into this that you could have back by just doing something else.
Well, it's the second word in the name of our union is family. This group of people, like Carly said, some of the people have been there for 11, upwards of 15 years. Some people have been there for 8 years. Some have been there for 3. But we all felt like a family.
Yeah.
You would walk in and you would know who you were working with. You would have, you just have these relationships, and then you have these, especially like the songs that you would sing, like the gimmicks that you would have.
Right.
As a family, you feel comfortable doing new things. You feel comfortable with the show that you're putting on. We were fighting to have that. We wanted that. Of course, you can go and work at an upscale restaurant and make comparable money, but you will not have the same experience working there.
A really extraordinary, inspirational group of people. Like being surrounded by, there were like 90 people on staff that you would see on the regular, and they're all so talented. And trying to like break up that kind of community is just it's just criminal. It's so silly, and we're all willing to work with them and want to.
Do you think there's going to be a good outcome? Do you think this ends exactly the way you want it to? Realistically.
I'm optimistic. I am optimistic. I believe that over the last 2 weeks, a lot of the union demands have been met. Not all of them, a few of them, but and they're not recognizing it obviously as a union win. But they're getting rid. They're trying to revamp their management. They're trying to seem a little more approachable, a little more kind. It's step by step, and it's a very slow process, but I do believe that we're getting somewhere. It might not ever be the same, but it might be comparable.
How can people help? If someone wants to get involved, or do you have like a...
Well, you can visit us on our website, which is StardustFamilyUnited.com. We're also on Facebook, Stardust Family United, Twitter, Stardust Family U, Instagram, Stardust Family United. There you can kind of, if you can like our stuff, if you can share our stuff. It also has contact information on how to get in touch if you want to show up at our protests. We do have a musical demonstration going on tomorrow at 4:30 outside of the restaurant. It's super fun. We set up a PA system. We sing songs to the people outside. We hand them information. We talk to them about what's going on inside. We also have a donation page, a We Care page. So of course, I never knew that flyers and paper cost as much money as it does. So, you can also donate to Stardust Family United via our We Care page, and all that's posted on our website and everything.
Yeah, awesome. Look, you're in a fight. Like, this is it. But you know, you believe in something, and you're sticking together, and you know, in your heart of hearts what the right thing is. And none of you are just going to cut and bail. And it's nice to see, and it's refreshing to see, and you don't often see it today because there's a lot of everyone's out for themselves, and let me just make sure I'm protecting myself. And it's nice to see you guys as a unit try to make this move and bring this along. So would love you guys to come back and let us know how you're doing. Definitely check out their sites and see what they're up to and other events. Like their pages so that they can pick up support. You guys are bold and courageous for doing this. It's a good fight, and I really appreciate you guys sharing your story with us.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much, and good luck. And good luck in Berlin. If
Thank
don't
you.
see it before
It's a
then.
cool town. I like it.
Awesome. Very good. Great, you guys.
All right,
Thanks so
thanks
much.
so much.
Thanks, Jenna.
Thank you.
You do have a great voice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Can we get a picture?
Oh, the pictures, yeah. I was going to.
Oh, did you take one or you didn't?
I didn't, not during this.
Oh, okay.
All right,
So
let me
let's-
get a.
And what I can do also is I'll talk to Tara and Tilly next time we come.
We're live on camera.
Oh, great. Well, next time we come, I'll make sure that you guys have a slew of musical performances.
Yeah, I was just going to make some. We're
Absolutely.
really good. Then they need more. I'm just throwing how to say
No,
it.
absolutely.
All right, here we go.
Smile? Oh, okay. Keep on smiling. I think it's weird. Cool.
Thank you
All right.
very much,
Thank you
guys.
guys for having
Really
us.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything. When's the event? When you guys doing the?
Tomorrow night. We also have an event on Monday if you want to come. It's going to be like a concert.
What time?
It's called After Dark. It's going to be Monday night at doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 8.
We'll definitely walk by.
I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah, do it. Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Not my crucible.
Hi, Billy.
We might have different people in the room. Like we do.
Billy.
What's going on?
Nothing.
I could change the scenery here.
Yeah, because it's raining, so we only nothing but the best.
It is raining. It's
Because
one of
we're all
those
starting
days.
this big diet on Sunday.
That looks like a big diet right
No,
there.
we're I think I'm gonna order something different.
Oh, I've got to talk to you about my diet later. It's awesome. It's like the cleanest, leanest, pain in the butt diet I've ever done. And
Sunday.
It feels awesome, but it's like you go anywhere and you can't do anything. Probably don't need my umbrella.
You don't need your umbrella.
You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
There's so much light. I can go on a black